Welcome to Thursday, March 7th, 2024. As we head into the tail end of the week, we're going to be talking about two storm systems, two events. One coming up today and tomorrow, another one coming up towards the middle of next week, and not a lot in between. First things first, we've got a disorganized, as you'll see on the satellite imagery, but a moist storm system moving into the region today. A real typical March situation to where the storm isn't going to really get its act together. But due to the fact that we're at the time of year, you naturally get more moisture in the atmosphere because the atmosphere, especially in the lower latitudes, is getting warmer. The more warmer the air is, the more water vapor that can be in the air, and these systems tend to be more productive as they come on in. So we're going to get rain and snow into some areas, as we'll show you here in a moment. Then we have high pressure coming in for the weekend. I think for the weekend into early next week, we've got some pretty fair weather, about a 4-day break. Then the next storm system will come in from the Pacific Northwest and want to form a storm system in the Great Basin. That's likely going to bring rain, snow, and thunder into the region, especially Wednesday, Thursday of next week. Now, we'll spend more time on that storm tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's do first things first with this first storm system. It's, again, very disorganized. This time we're taking a look at a satellite image more based on the central United States than the Pacific. We've got an area of low pressure here. It's hard to detect, but we've got an area of low pressure up here as well. These lows are going to work together to bring lifting motions, helping the atmosphere have a vertical motion, lifting it. You lift air, you cool it, condense it, you're going to have clouds and eventually precipitation. There's also a good feed of moisture out ahead of this system coming up into the plains where you're already seeing showers developing this morning across portions of Nebraska and Colorado. And this is that double-barreled area of low pressure as we've been showing you over the last couple of days. So later today and tonight, we're going to get some areas of snow on the front range of Colorado and the southeastern Wyoming, areas of rain and snow, and a little bit of thunderstorm activity ahead of this system as well, as the atmosphere is moist and unstable. And we have advisories out. What we have up here in northwest Montana and northeastern Idaho are avalanche warnings, and then the pink and the blue areas right here are for winter storm warnings or winter weather advisories. This is for fog. This is red flag warnings for high fire danger, as it will be windy underneath the backside of that trough right here. Focusing a little bit closer to home, it's mainly the southeast. We have a winter storm warning for the summit area along Interstate 80 and winter weather advisories kind of adjacent to the higher terrain right here where the heavier snow is going to fall. So it's more eastern based. Notice we don't have those winter storm warnings out west, as they actually out in western Wyoming and that part of the region catches a little bit of a break in the weather. Now this precipitation is going to hope a couple of photos from the grass fire that developed west of Cheyenne last Friday. A lot of folks thought it was a smoke-nado. It just happened to work out. We had some thermal activity that caused the smoke to rise up, kind of looking like a smoke situation with a tornado, but it was just smoke, and certainly the moisture that's going to be coming this way soon is going to be helping out with the fire danger, especially along the front range and out on the plains. The radar this morning showing already the development of shower activity in that moisture ahead of the system, and this moisture will be drawn west-northwestward as the low pressure systems come together and work in unison. Also some rain coming on into the desert southwest on the backside of the system. So how much moisture is it going to produce? Not a ton, but enough to make a difference. We have this area of rain and snow that'll be a bit more concentrated right along the Kansas-Nebraska border, north and south of that, into northeastern Colorado here, right along and north of I-70. And then we have another area of enhanced precipitation that's right along the front range areas here. If you notice, along I-25, you're going to have heavier moisture in the foothills and the eastern mountains of the front range of Colorado and southeastern areas of Wyoming. Then more of a scattered pattern of precipitation elsewhere. And this is what the snowfall looks like here in a moment. But I wanted to show you that we're getting to that time of year when we're going to start to get, well, a little bit of thunder. We've already, in January and February, we've had a couple of instances of thunder, but we're getting the time of year where it's going to be a bit more common. This is also an indication of instability. The unstable atmosphere may trigger Some thunderstorm activity here across the plains, and anywhere you see blue, the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm or two could develop. And this is what the snowfall looks like. Not widespread, not terribly concentrated, but we're going to see along I-25 and along Interstate 80, along I-70 into the mountains, and out here on the plains, potentially some wet spring-like snow that could cause travel hazards. There's going to be some fog as well along some of the higher elevations of Interstate 80 and maybe sections of I-25 and I-70 as well. So keep that in mind, travelers. Again, not a major weather system, but over the next 24 hours, if traveling in these areas here, you're going to encounter some travel hazards. Then the weekend comes in and we get high pressure coming on in, and this high pressure is going to give us 3-4 days of quiet weather. But here comes the next strong, moist Pacific jet stream wind that's going to form a trough somewhere over the Great Basin by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. We still have that configuration showing up we talked about yesterday. High pressure, low pressure, high pressure, all in the right areas to draw Gulf of Mexico moisture in ahead of that storm. So we'll continue to watch this. Still have to watch how it comes together, where exactly it will be placed. But we're probably looking at rain and snow and thunder in the western United States as early as Tuesday night, but especially by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. We'll talk more about this storm tomorrow. Have yourself a good Thursday.